Hello and welcome to another episode of Our Zoo. Today I have my good friend Krishna with me, who is going to share with us a better understanding of the technology, about the evolution, the processes, the behavior that needs to be in place for companies like you and me to really get close to our customer. We always talk about the customer. We always want to be close to the customer. We're so customer-centric. Our customer satisfaction scores goes up, but we don't really do that much when it comes to introducing new technology. And that's why I'm so happy to have Ani in the zoo today. Welcome to the zoo.
Hi, Alf. I'm happy to be here.
Why don't you share with the viewers a little bit who you are and what you do and why you're an expert on customer care?
Sure. So I'm a services manager with Medallia, and Medallia is a customer experience management company. So essentially, we build software that helps our customers manage the experience of their customers. So as a services manager, I'm responsible for implementing our technology, and through that have a lot of insight essentially into how these big companies are managing their customer experience.
Excellent. How long have you been with Medallia?
About 2 years now.
Okay.
And I manage a portfolio of customers that from small to medium to large, and we help build their customer experience strategy, and through our technology help them sort of work through that experience as well.
So what have you seen over the last few years when it comes to technology and tools and products in general? What have we done that makes companies' life easier when it comes to taking good care of our customers through the whole life cycle? Has there been a major shift in how we look at that market and what products have come to market recently?
So to sort of answer that question, I have to sort of take us a little bit back, right? Why is this important to start with? Why do we even need these tools? And there was a recent Forrester report that was very interesting. It talked about age of manufacturing, age of distribution, and age of information. And all these sort of lead into where we are now, which, as you described, is the age of the customer, right? Because initially, without manufacturing, customers didn't have options. I mean, when automobiles first came out, the Model T was the only car. You wanted an automobile, that's where you go and that's what you buy.
Yeah.
Once that age moved and you had these options, the next was the distribution piece, right? I mean, it's about making everything cheap and widely available. So yes, you had a lot of cars, but if you had to wait 6 months to get one, then that wasn't really enabling the customer. Beyond that, we went into information with the World Wide Web. You have a lot of information about all of these products. The customers know and are able to decide what they want and have greater choice. So all of this really sort of comes together to put the customer in charge. They have availability, they have the information, they have everything that they need to really drive those decisions, right?
There's also zero moment of truth.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So the other shift essentially that's been happening is that the seller had control of the product, right? Because the seller had the product itself that they were building, they had the information that they were supplying about what that product does, and they had control. So they had marketing. And there has been a shift in that as well because of the information, because of social media, because of reviews. Now the customer has a lot more power and a lot more control over both what that product is, both how it is delivered, and what it actually does once it's out in the market, right? So the power shift is moving from the sellers to the customers.
Yeah.
Now, when you take all of this, and like, for example, Dan Pink was talking about the age of abundance, right? So that's the third piece, because it's no longer about the product itself. I mean, you have a phone, you go in, you buy an iPhone, right? 5 years ago, it was just about the phone. That was what was most important. Now, the experience when you walk into the store matters. The experience that you have with the phone, the feel, the quality, all of that matters. The experience of you calling their call center when you have a problem, that matters. and finally the experience of you sort of giving up that phone and moving to the next phone, that matters. So it's across the life cycle of the product, and the whole experience is now the responsibility of the companies to manage. So
So
essentially,
so we almost gone back to the time when you trusted the person you bought. So you didn't buy good stuff, you bought stuff from good people, and it seems like we almost going back to that now. They want more than just the product. They want a relationship with the brand.
yes, exactly. So, but it's a very different kind of relationship with the brand. It's a very personal relationship because in the past, your relationship was I hear the big brand names all the time, right? I hear within automotive, I hear the big brand names. So that's brand loyalty because that's all you hear about. But now this is personal. This is very, very personal. It's like what is my experience when I go interact with that brand? And each interaction makes a difference. So if I walk into a store and I come out with a bad experience, I probably won't go back there again. It does not matter how many millions of dollars this fella spend on marketing. It's very personal. So when you were talking about tools, essentially, the problem with tools is that up to now, we have had the right tools for the right situations. Like when you were manufacturing, the kinds of tools that you wanted were different. When you're talking about distribution, it was logistics tools. When you're talking about information, it's CRM systems. Now in this new world, we have to have a different kind of tool that is able to sort of really measure and track this customer experience, both at a global level, because at a global level is how you design the product. So you sort of listen to what your customers are saying, but also at a very personal level. It's like, how do you all feel when you went into that store? How do you all feel when you made that customer support call? And if I can't manage your personal experience, then I have lost control, right? And to move into that, if I lose control of you, I no longer lose control of one person. I lose control of you. I lose control of your network. I lose control of everything around you. So when you are selling, when you have this, when this brand loyalty in terms of marketing no longer matters, I cannot any longer afford to lose even one person. When you have so much power in terms of social media, in terms of reviews that you post on Facebook, on Twitter, and all these social channels, I can't afford that loss anymore. So I need to control that person. Well, control is not the right word, but I need to be aware of your personal experience so that I can help drive a better experience for you.
And is this also changing our behaviors then? Because yes, there's one thing you have tools to track all the different channels and different behavior and so on. But the way, especially on the customer care side or on the shopper side, if you will, the vendor side, we have to change our behavior and how we interact with customers as well there too?
Absolutely, absolutely. In terms of how companies sort of work with customers, right? We have to listen. Any company that is no longer listening is already at a disadvantage. When CRM systems came in, the companies that adopted CRM systems versus companies that were working on Excel sheets, they had a huge change, right? I mean, unless you're able to manage this, it's just you're going to be left behind. It's not even a competitive advantage. It is unless you move to this space, you no longer have the ability to be the leader in your industry because at one level you have to listen because of the abundance, because of the choice that customers have. You have to listen to them. Product managers were used to at some probably decades ago could work in silos, being geniuses designing their own products. Now if they're not listening and talking to the customer while they're designing their products, nobody's going to buy, right? So at that level, you need to have that insight into what the customer is thinking. At the next level, you need to have real insight into the whole experience piece because, like I said before, it was about the product, no longer about the product. It's about every single touch point. In the customer experience space, we call this journey mapping. We essentially map the customer's journey across the various touch points that the company has with each customer, and you have to ensure that each of those touch points are tracked, that we know what's going on, and we are able to improve that experience. So it matters very, very strongly for organizations.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And so last week I had a discussion about marketing, especially modern marketing, and the question about who the future, the customer of the future is, came up. And so my question to you is, who is he or she? Are they more demanding? Are they expecting us to be more cognizant, actually predicting what they want before they want it, to be there at every moment? Is that where we're going?
Yes, yes, and you see a lot of trends emerging in this, right? To one extent, you don't marketing no longer has control. Just to start with that, I mean, you can market, but it no longer has the power that it used to have. It's about making your customers your marketers. If you are not able to do that, then you're losing in the marketplace. I mean, why talk about product? Talk about elections, right? I mean, how did Obama come into power? It's like low-level grassroots marketing. It's like every single person go out and talk to three people.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of experience we need to buy. And in terms of prediction and expectations, with the customer having more control, you have to be able to provide that kind of sort of enhanced experience. So you have more real-time production, more like configurability to some extent. I mean, everybody has a smartphone. So what is your differentiation, right? You are able to really customize it at the end user level, really personalize it. So that becomes important. Then real-time delivery and prediction that you talked about, Amazon is starting to do this. I mean, we saw a report recently where they're like pre-shipping to regional centers based on customer buying patterns. You are
Scary, isn't it?
I'm not willing to wait anymore for 3 days for something to be delivered to me. I want it like the minute I think of it, I want it to show up. I want to be able to return it and try something else. You don't give me these options, somebody else is going to give it to me, right? So, and the third part about is we're talking about the tools. To go back to that a little bit, we're still fairly behind in terms of the kinds of tools we have to measure this experience. So in the future, if you come to me and ask me to fill out a 20 questions survey, I'm probably not going to do that, right? You already, I have, we know what the world is like. I have given away all my rights to privacy. Google knows everything. Facebook knows everything. So if you are not able to tell me and give me that information through big data, through analytics, I mean, I have already given up my information. You have it available. Now give me what I need before I even need it. That's my expectation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting time we're in, and I think I love that more technology is being dedicated to making the customer experience better. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones who's going to pay for innovation to come about. And it's so much more than, as you said, it's so much more than technology. It's your whole relationship through the product lifecycle, through the company, from the first time you shake hands to you hand over some money and so on. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come in into the Zoom and help us understand. Ani Krishna from Medallia. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Al. It's been a pleasure.
For the rest of you out there, take care, be safe, see you later.